Alright everybody, welcome back. This time we are continuing with Nobunaga's Path, the very first mission of Chapter 2, the Battle of Ino. Let's get right into it.
斎藤義達が起こした内乱によって道三は討たれ、義達が美濃の新たな国主となった。道三との同盟関係が追放に帰した織田家は、斎藤と今川という強敵に挟まれ窮地に陥る。すべては信長の無謀な戦が招いた結果だとして、くすぶっていた織田家中の不満がついに爆発。信行こそ織田家の当主にふさわしいとする者たちが兵を挙げ、尾張は内乱状態となる。当の信行は反乱勢力を抑える素振りも見せず、ここに兄弟相打つ戦いが始まろうとしていた。信長編第2章、誓い異能の戦い。
まずは乱を鎮め、あいつと話をせねばならんな。
ああ、安心しろよ。この槍の又がいる限り万に一つも負けはねえ。
右辺のことは利家さんに、猿知恵がいるならこの秀吉にお任せを。
何者だ？
城の外で拾った渡り者だ。戦に出たいんだとよ。
手柄を挙げた暁にはご家中の末席に加えていただきたく。
あの面だ。どこぞの患者にも見えねえだろう。頭も悪くなさそうだし、度胸もある。
又座にそこまで言わせるとは、随分と買われたものだな、猿。
今は猿の手も借りてえ状況だ。使ってやってくれねえかな。
なあ、勝手にしろ。
ありがたき幸せ。
さてと、話を戻すが、権六殿はもちろん家中の半数以上が敵に回っちまってる。村木、長良川と負けが続いて、さすがの信行も家中の不満を抑えきれなくなったのかもしれねえ。おまけに大一の姿も見当たらねえんだ。あいつ信行に懐いてたからな。
とにかく今は乱を収めねばならん。急ぎ向こうの動きを確かめておきたいが。
そのお役目、この秀吉にお命じくだされ。おいらなら顔も割れてませんし、適任でございましょう。
よかろう。行け、秀吉。
ぎょい。
よし、
一丁手柄を立ててくるか。
This one we'll play as Toshie, new edition Hideyoshi. Actually, as far as depictions of characters go, I have to admit, I am not the biggest fan as the way Hideyoshi is shown in this game, nor really the way that he is introduced. Because Hideyoshi himself actually did have a pretty cool background, I think, as somebody who literally rose up from the most humble of origins to, you know, a general for one of the top lords, in this case Nobunaga. This is his start here. And he's just don't know, just kind of thrust it.
どうにか砦を抑えねば味方を呼び込むこともままならんな。よっしゃ、まずは順調だな。敵はひるんだ。この隙に押し返せ。
So Toshie uses the Great Spear weapon, which in my opinion is the most fun moveset in the game.
砦を落としゃいいんだよな。進め、兄上の勢いを削ぐのだ。
I never really enjoyed playing it. Hideyoshi gets the Naginata. Naginata? Nagi Nata? I don't know. The Naginata moveset is pretty fun. I didn't really understand it when I first started playing it. So if you haven't played the game yet, every time you play as a new weapon type for the first time, you get a tutorial on it. And I like, man, fuck Reeves. I got it. So I didn't read it at all. But for the Naginata, you really want to remain airborne. That's where most of your strong attacks are. Watch out. So in this case, Nobuyuki has turned on Nobunaga, launched his own rebellion here. Nobunaga certainly dealt with his fair share of betrayal in his early years. It's hard to say you feel bad for somebody like Nobunaga, but it sucks to have your own family turn on you, I'm sure. I know that Nobunaga actually, what was very uncommon for the time was him and Nobuyuki. It's hard for me to call him that, to be honest, because I know his real name. In my head, I have him as Nobukatsu Oda. But Nobuyuki and Nobunaga actually even shared the same mother. And during this rebellion, Nobunaga's own mother turned against him. But Nobunaga was very unpopular. In this game, they accredit that to his repeated losses, in this case against the Imagawa and then against the Saito. But it's actually more complicated than that. Nobunaga, who was a very rigid person, was very hard to get along with. He did not adhere to a lot of the conventions of samurai society. He was a very arrogant person. And so that turned a lot of his clan against him because they felt, and they were probably correct, really, mostly, because they felt like they were being ignored and that their opinions were not appreciated, and that Nobunaga was going to do whatever he wanted to do, and in this case, mostly bad. And they thought that Nobuyuki, who was very agreeable, who was dignified, a lot more like his father than Nobunaga was. And Nobuhide was a very popular lord, the Oda. And really, the argument could be made that Nobuhide himself preferred Nobuyuki because the Oda had two main strongholds towards the end. They had several castles, don't get me wrong. They had a lot of castles. They were one of the more powerful clans of Owari for a reason. But their main two bases was Nagoya Castle, which there was a lot of Nagoya castles historically in Japan. But this was the one in Owari. And that's where Nobunaga ended up being based out of for many years, before he ended up taking control of Kiyosu Castle. But Nagoya Castle and Nobuhide had a castle built just for him that he retired to, which was called Sumori Castle. Which, if you look at the map here, they point out a Kiyosu and a Sumori. I don't think Kiyosu Castle was actually Nobunaga's hand. Well, actually, it may have been. After Kiyosu was conquered, Nobunaga switched his base to there. But Sumori Castle was built by Nobuhide, and that was where the top dog stayed. Right? He was the top dog. That's where he retired to. When he passed away, Nagoya Castle, which had been his main base, went to Nobunaga, but his castle that he had been staying at, Sumori, that went to Nobukatsu. And I've wondered, personally, and people who are a lot more familiar with Japanese history can enlighten me on this if you know. But I took that as maybe favoritism, that this brand new castle that he had built, that kind of is the new hotness, right? It was the new hotness. And Nobunaga got the old and broke down. Nobukatsu got the new hotness. He got Sumori Castle, which was his base for several years, up until, of course, when Nobunaga laid siege. I think he ended up just destroying the whole thing, so but I can't remember. Sumori Castle is definitely not standing today, I can tell you that much. So this is one of the missions. Now that we're about towards the end, I need to talk about objectives. So playing as Toshiie gives you 2 exclusive objectives that can only be accomplished as him. One is defeating those 2 generals, and then 2 is getting those kills in the center base. If you don't play as Toshiie, you don't get the one for the kills, period. And the other one is help Toshiie beat these 2 generals, or help Toshiie by beating these 2 generals. So, important distinction to make. As for the characters that I'm playing right now, I will have all objectives. Yeah, this is okay, so this is the one here. And these 2 right here. You don't get this one at all. I think I may mess myself up on that, but those are the 2 you got to watch out for. Basically, you got to play this mission twice. Once as Toshiie, get those 2 objectives, and then once not as him. And you'll get all objectives. The objective for Hideyoshi reaching that road is the same whether if you play as him or not.
Nobuyuki, まずは理由を聞こう。
ご存知の通り、家中では兄上のやり方に不満を持つ者が増えていました。彼らが敵方に通じる前に手を打つ必要があった。故に彼らに私を担がせて乱を起こした次第。そして兄上は勝った。あとは私が腹を切ることで織田家中は兄上を中心に落ち着くはずです。
お前の真意を聞いた以上、腹を切らせることなどできるか。
謀反の首謀者たる私の血筋を根絶やしにして、兄上の確固たる意志を家中に示さねばなりません。
血筋を根絶やしに。お前の幼い娘までも手にかけろというのか。
それが乱世の断りというもの。ただし私に組みした者たちにはどうか寛大な処遇を。
分かった。 信行、お前に切腹を命じる。
母、メイドで兄上のご分をお祈りしております。
信行、これが乱世の断りゆえならば、俺が必ず壊してやる。
お前なんてことを。
またざ、この赤子をどこぞに捨ててこい。
はあ、それより俺の話を。おい、信長様、信長、待てよ。くそ。
あなたまで命を絶つ必要なんて。
信行様が腹を召された以上、俺も追い腹を切らねば生き恥を晒すことになる。
あなたには兄様が大使をなすための力になってほしい。信行兄様はそう望んでいたはずでしょ。
仮にも主君に背いて兵を挙げた以上、おめおめと生きながらえるなんざ耐えられません。
戸川を一身に背負っていった信行の思いに応えてやれんのか、権六。
兄様、
俺も信行もお前の死など望んではおらん。今日よりお前には一に仕えてもらう。
姫に。
信行を守ったように、これからは一を守れ。拒むことは許さん。良いな。
御意。
Alright. That was a fun mission. That'll do it for today, though. Thank you for watching, everybody. I do want to throw in one more little historical tidbit here at the end. Nobuyuki's whole bloodline was not wiped out. As a matter of fact, his son, he grew up, I don't think he was allowed to keep the Oda name. He was adopted into another very powerful local clan. A name, and I've never heard this pronounced out loud, so forgive me if I get it wrong, but Tsumi, T-S-U-M-I, is how we have put it in English characters. So Nobusumi actually was a pretty notable Oda general. But anyway, he doesn't appear in this game. I'll spoil that. But his bloodline wasn't wiped out. His retainers, everybody that rebelled against Nobunaga was forgiven. So that was actually kind of unordinary for the time. Normally, if there was any rebellions anywhere, that shit was dealt with. Whole families done. Wasn't to be trifled with. But with that being said, that'll do it for today. Thank you for watching, everybody. That was the Battle of Eno. I'll see you in the next one. We'll do Mayhem in Mikawa. Bye bye.